What's going on, YouTube? I go by the name Major. I'm very excited today. We're going to have an awesome experience. Today I'm going to cook you some street chicken tacos. We're going to make our own homemade pico de gallo. We're also going to make a nice sour cream and cilantro sauce to go with it. I'm very excited. Stay tuned. So, the ingredients for this meal today we're going to be using is cumin, dried oregano, smoked paprika, garlic powder, chili powder, salt, one medium onion, one or two jalapeno peppers, one or two tomatoes, two limes, sour cream, and fresh cilantro. Now you can use dry cilantro, but I definitely recommend fresh cilantro. So right now what we're going to do is prepare the pico de gallo. You want to give this a little bit of time to marinate, kind of build a marriage together so you can taste all those flavors and nuances in your pico. We got our bowl here for the pico. Sharp knife. So we're going to do a nice chop on our onion. Look at that, no tears. Now I like my onions minced and small, so when I come back, I'm going to chop them up further. Some people like chunky pico, not me. Alright. And actually, make it easier on yourself. I recommend one of these. If you're serious about cooking in your kitchen, I definitely recommend one of these. Makes things a lot easier. Helps with scooping, putting into your mixing bowl if you need to. It helps with scooping up the trash and putting it in the trash can. Very versatile. It even has measurements on it. I definitely recommend something like this in your kitchen. Alright, then we have our jalapeno. I like my pico hot. My family does not for the most part, so normally I'll take the seeds out of them and I'll go ahead and maybe save one or two for myself later on and put it in another bowl. these up real fine as well. Now we're going to add our salt. Add 1 lime. Alright, so now that we have all of those ingredients together, we're going to mix them up well. What's going to happen too when you let it sit, each of these are going to sweat. They're going to start to produce liquids and they're going to come out into the actual bottom of the bowl. But those liquids are going to enhance this and add so much flavor to this pico. So now we got the pico done. It's in the fridge. It's doing what it needs to do to marinate and bring out the best flavor. So we'll get started on our cilantro lime sour cream. So now it's time to get working on our cilantro lime sour cream sauce. So we're going to put our sour cream in. And just so you know, all of the ingredients and the measurements will be in the description. And then to that, we're going to cut up. Now, I normally like a lot of lime in my sauce, but I think I tend to OD a lot on cilantro. I'm a big fan of cilantro. I love how fresh and vibrant it is. I like how it wakes up a meal. Plus it adds a bit of color, you know. From there, we're going to add our lime. A little bit of salt to taste. And mix in. Now with this, you're going to do the same as what you did with the pico. You're going to let this marinate and sit in the fridge. I would say about 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, you can for longer. Normally what I do is I put it in a container. I store it for a couple of days. My kids love this stuff, man. They put it on everything. Now it's time to get to the chicken breast and marinating or seasoning our chicken breast. I normally tend to cut these to make them a lot thinner. That way when I sear them in the frying pan, they cook a lot faster. They kind of caramelize with the flavors and everything. And normally it won't take that long. If you're anything like my family, my kids like to eat, but they ain't looking to wait a long time to get their food. So we are going to use another mixing bowl. Now the ingredients and the measurements will be in the description at the bottom. So I've made this so many times in my house, I kind of can eyeball it and I know exactly what my family likes. So I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to go with the chili powder first. I'm going to add our salt. We're going to go with our garlic powder. A little bit of smoked paprika. Dried oregano. And last but not least, our ground cumin. We're going to mix those together. And then we have our seasoning. So, with our chicken breast, we are going to make sure and take off all the excess fat. Alright, and after that, what we're going to do is we're going to cut our chicken. Now it doesn't matter if they're both uniform, because what's going to happen is you're going to cut these up once the chicken are done into small pieces for your taco. So it won't really matter what they look like right now anyway. You just want it to cook faster and hopefully even. Alright, so we have our chicken breasts cut up, and we discard all the fat and the gristle. From there now we can take our seasonings and season our chicken breast. While seasoning, you want to make sure you coat the whole chicken, not a piece of it, not half of it, not a part of it, the whole chicken. You want to get every little bit of seasoning you possibly can in those nooks and crannies of this chicken. Flip it over. And now that our chicken is seasoned, it's time to head to the stove. So now we're going to get our frying pan nice and hot. You want to make sure to warm up your pan when you're cooking. You don't want to add cold oil to a cold pan, it never works out well. So you want to heat up your pan, get your pan to a nice temperature. After your pan is at a nice temperature, then you can start to add your oil and go cooking from there. So now that the pan is hot, we're going to add our oil. Go at the bottom of the pan. We'll give our oil a chance to get hot. You'll see the oil start to shimmer, glisten a little bit. Normally that's the telltale sign that it's ready to, you're ready to cook in the pot. Another thing you can do is you can take a little bit of water, flick it down at the oil. If it starts bubbling or sizzling, then you know the oil is hot, it's ready to go. Alright, we're going to turn our temperature down now. You hear that sizzle on there? If you're cooking and you don't hear that sizzle, something's wrong and you need to start over. Go ahead and give these a flip. Put this right here. Let your food sit, people. Give it time to cool. Give it time to let the juices go back into your chicken. A lot of times we're so quick to cut into food and then it ends up being dry because we ain't let the juices go back in and do what it needs to do. So now that the chicken's cooked, we've given it time to actually chill, the juices to reabsorb back into the meat. We're going to go ahead and start to shred and chop our chicken up to make it bite-sized, you know. Get ready for these street tacos. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get our last bowl, hopefully. We'll go ahead and start to cut into this chicken. You can see the steam coming off of this chicken still. Alright, we're going to cut it into small pieces. Our tortilla, actually isn't that big. It's not meant to be a burrito or anything, so we want little small bite sizes to fit in the taco. My mouth is watering right now. Man, this smells so good. All right. Crust over that chicken. That ain't nothing but flavor right there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and chop this up further. now that all our chicken is chopped up, it's looking beautiful, we're gonna go ahead and transfer our chicken over into our bowl. And last but not least, we have the most important step before we put this thing together. Last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and heat up our tortilla. This is, if you don't do this, I'm telling you right now, your taco ain't gonna taste like anything. I'm telling you right now, this makes the biggest differences when you heat up your tortilla. After everything is done, now it's time to put it together. So we're gonna put our tortilla down. We just warmed up. It's pliable now. It smells delicious. We're gonna start by adding our chicken that we just cooked and marinated. Smells so good. After that, we're going to follow it up with our pico that we made earlier. Hit it with our cilantro lime we made earlier. And last but definitely not least, we'll go ahead and hit that with a little bit of lime. In all honesty, I'd like to thank the man behind the camera who just tasted the food. This was fun today, man. This is the most fun I had today. I hope you come back and join us in the kitchen. I know you're gonna like what I make next time. Until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate y'all following the page. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.